All right, so today we have a very special guest. He's a former LGHS student.
Still kind of am, but
yeah. And he's just like one of the smartest people I know. So thank you for coming here today,
I appreciate it.
Koosha.
Thank you, Sasha. It's a pleasure to speak with you guys. Sasha here. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure to be in this community that I really like, and of course I have a lot of basically most of my friends here, so it's like really refreshing that even if I don't take classes here, I can still take part in the community.
Yeah. So you go to middle college.
Yes.
That's West Valley, right?
Yeah. So it started my freshman year. I started getting interested in things outside of school, and even though I was taking like accelerated classes, I still didn't feel that like in the future I really wanted to focus so much on academics and taking AP classes. A lot of my focus turned to what I was doing outside of school, and as I saw the benefits of the middle college program through going on the website and learning more about it through alternate education paths that students I'd known had taken, I realized that middle college students were spending way less time at school, at West Valley, and they had a more flexible schedule. And I knew that there's some pros and cons, like the AP system is really well known.
Yeah.
When you're a high school student, it's good to be around your high school peers and have a high school experience. Everyone loves that stereotypical, like go to prom, go to the football games, and be with your friends.
Yeah.
But for me, I kind of really wanted to pursue the stuff I was doing outside of school and sacrifice some of my social life. Thankfully, I'm still like I'm here right now. I still hang out with my friends, but I did want to have that extra time while still taking college classes.
So you were talking about how you needed room in your schedule. Was it for mainly like the businesses that you run, or was it like another part of your life that you wanted to prioritize?
Yeah, so initially it started mostly with business stuff. At an early age, in ninth grade, I got exposed to cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. You might have heard about it in the news as being a scam or like some weird voodoo magic internet currency, but I got exposed to that and like the whole hype around investing in Bitcoin, whatever that means. And I actually found out about it through FBLA, which was a club here. So I do credit Los Gatos for doing that. And I really started pursuing that. I invested money. I lost a lot of money, made my parents really mad.
Oh,
but
yeah, can we talk about that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You invested your mom's money in Bitcoin.
So what I did is I basically went up to my parents. I'm like, you should let me manage X amount of money in this new crazy market because I think I know what I'm doing. For the last few months and years, it's been going up, so it's like guaranteed to give positive returns, right? And I was right. Like I did, take their money, grow it, and that was a really good investing experience. My first, of course, freshman year, leading to sophomore year.
Right.
But the market did slow down. So like stocks or just anything you invest in, it can go up and it can go down.
Right.
I was too engrossed in the idea that it would only go up, and me being inexperienced, wasn't able to react in time when it went down. So I got into a lot of weird stuff regarding scams, bad market. So I got really exposed in some shady stuff that has been part of this whole business thing I've been doing. Now, that's just the beginning of how I got into cryptocurrency. So that obviously that's a big part of why I decided to go to middle college, is because that whole thing in cryptocurrency led to me, joining several startups based out of UC Berkeley and Stanford. I tried instantly getting into those communities because I lost a lot of money, but I knew a lot because I'd been spending every day, learning about it. Like, why is the value of whatever going up, right? Mm-hmm. So through my curiosity, I learned that why don't I just go apply my skills? I'm here for free labor. You students can use me in whatever way, shape, or form, and it ended up working. So I, started working with startups, and things led to each other, and I was able to, grow my network and people I work with, and now I can. Should I explain what I'm doing now, or?
Yeah. So wait, there's Rupture.
Yeah.
That's what was it called before? What was it?
So it's always been Rupture.
No. What was the one that you had in freshman year?
Oh, right. So also another thing I was part of is I started this blog called Teen Tumult.
Oh my God.
Which was a complete joke.
No, your articles are written so well.
Appreciate
it. And your videos, you are a really good speaker, and you have a lot of interesting things to say about the world.
So let me give a little background about that. So while I was getting into cryptocurrency, I also really was getting to this idea of making a lot of money, which, I mean, who doesn't love money? But I was kind of an idiot, so I thought like everything was really simple when it comes to making money online. So what I did is I learned how to develop websites, and I built a website called teentumult.com. Doesn't exist anymore. Don't try searching for it. You won't find anything, hopefully. I covered my tracks. But I started writing about articles, and I tried turning that into a profitable thing. You know, I got Los Gatos students involved with writing as well. And that went on for a while, but as the cryptocurrency things got more serious, I started letting that, you know, subside a little bit. But later on, I did get into journalism and writing articles about cryptocurrency and about economic-related things. So I still ended up going back to writing, but it wasn't through the original thing that I was doing.
Right. So you're interested in journalism a little bit? Why do you think so?
Yeah, so unfortunately in this world, like tech and STEM related things are like taking over. So it's like everyone grows up under these ideas that you're gonna go study computer science and just build something new for no apparent reason, just to make money and make everybody happy. But the thing that people miss is that there's people, you know, writing and recording and documenting, and I think it's really valuable that that exists. Like without it, I mean, what would we be doing? Like, how is our like time reflected? And unfortunately, like journalism is a really underpaid and underrepresented group. And when I like write articles, I don't expect to get paid. And I, you know, frankly, with most of my stuff, I don't monetize it, and I don't get to the extent of monetizing. But that's not what matters, because it feels good that I'm like producing content. I put time into writing and thinking about it, and then it's like what's in here can finally be out in the world, and like people like you can go like, what is this Koosha guy all about? And you can understand where I'm coming from through my writing. So like I feel like that's very valuable, you know. But but at the same time, you know, I'm a hypocrite. So like I'm not going to pursue journalism full on as a profession, but you know, through financial tech and the stuff I'm doing right now, I do hope of like producing content, building a following, personal branding, being this Koosha Azim guy who writes articles and makes videos and documents his journey through the entrepreneurial sphere or whatever, you know.
Okay, that's what I wanted to talk about, because at school, when you did go to school and we like had classes together, you have this very like, you're always making jokes and stuff like that, always talking to anyone.
Yeah.
And just being friendly. And you're not very serious, like you have like a really lighthearted attitude. But I was really surprised to see in your blog and in your videos, you have a lot of serious things to say, like you have a serious side to you.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. So it's interesting. I do, you know, whether you know or not, like I'm a crazy person, and there are even things that no one knows that, you know, do kind of reflect that side of me that loves to make things way less serious and likes to make people laugh. Like I love that kind of energy and attention. But at the same time, like, you know, there is a serious side. But I do feel like I wouldn't have my serious side without the soft side, because it's like when I make jokes, whether it be kind of offensive, but just things that people like and laugh at, it makes everything less serious. And like whether you're like a full-on AP student and you're taking everything serious, I can make their day. I can make them laugh and have that relatable moment, even though I may be struggling and having stress or whatever. And it gives me energy to go do the serious things as well. Like if I hang out with my friends and have a great time, you know, that energy can then later be put into like my business when I'm calling, you know, my colleagues, and I can show them that light side too. And what I also notice is like people don't like one-dimensional figures. Like if you're always going to be serious, people, you know, it's all great, but to an extent, like they want to see some light and joy. And for me, it's like being crazy and weird and just doing things to get attention and make people laugh is like something that really encourages me to also do the serious thing. So it's really weird how it coexists, but yeah, I do like having both sides.
So you kind of touched on your former businesses, but you talked about how like you're working with people from Berkeley and Stanford, like with like coding related things now. Is there like a project that you're really passionate about right now?
Sure. So a lot of things are in progress. So I want to focus on the things that have been done. So this was actually big in Los Gatos early of this year, so right around December, January of 2019. There was a new app out of some of my colleagues who, you know, they're originally from Stanford. They launched this app called Pi Network that there's some Los Gatos kids that knew about it. And I was like going around and pitching like, you better download Pi, you know, you're earning free money or whatever. But I did not have an official role in that project, but I was like I was like one of the first users. And it, you know, it was a really, in the beginning, it was a very undeveloped thing. But then over the past few months, it's been growing. And I've taken a role as an intern on the marketing end. And I've kind of seen it grow. I wouldn't take full responsibility at all for the growth, but you know, Pi Network is now reaching almost 500,000 users around the world, and like there's people from about like 180 countries that are using the app. So it feels good that like something you're a part of, and like something that Los Gatos kids, like I would say the first 200 users of this now full-blown app, or like Los Gatos, like sophomores and juniors, and it feels good that you know I helped take this idea into full force. And yeah, that's one of the things. I can explain other things as well.
Oh yeah, if you want to.
Sure. So what I recently have done is I've joined this firm. So let me just try to explain in the simplest way possible what we do. So like I said, I started out by trying to invest in cryptocurrencies, right? And there are these websites called exchanges where you have to list what people invest in. So let's say I want to invest in something. The company needs to go talk to that website, get their thing up there, their currency up there, so then people like me can go buy and sell it, right? So what we do is we work with projects that are trying to get their cryptocurrencies on exchanges, and we work with different companies in China and Korea to make sure they get the best deal. And I don't want to explain too much detail because this is already kind of getting in depth, but basically I work with this firm called Blocks on the business development end, and I bring new clients and try to get cryptocurrency projects to grow and to make sure their value goes up, in simplest terms. So that's another exciting thing I've only recently gotten into.
That's really cool. Okay, so all of these projects, like, do you think there's like a unifying thing about like why you're passionate about them, or just like what motivates you in general? Because you're a very motivated person. Like you take a lot of initiative. So like what is like your reason for that?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I hate to say this, but the very first motivating factor was like, oh, I want to get in a good college. Oh, I want to be rich. And like I was pissing everybody off. I was like being so like academic focused and stuff. But then as things started to get more momentum, I realized that what is it in these things that make them so attractive to so many students? And I realized, like, you know, it's not that important. I should be enjoying what I'm doing. So what unifies kind of all this thing is, you know, cryptocurrency. But the reason why I initially got interested in cryptocurrency and why it's still interesting is because, let me just give a little history about money really quick. So the government, as you know, prints dollars, right? Everyone uses dollars, paper currency, to exchange value. And every year, you know, the U.S. and different countries print more dollars, right? And each time they print inflation, they lower the value of the currency. And nothing is stopping governments from increasing the supply of dollars and manipulating, you know, money and that kind of stuff. And as a person who's not really politically active, but who takes note of these things, I see that cryptocurrency, which is a digital money system that no one owns, it's decentralized. It's not like, there's no government that can hurt or grow or whatever Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a thing launched on the internet that anyone around the world can exchange. So I'm Iranian, my family's in Iran, and we have a lot of family members that hold Bitcoin. That's their form of value. And like with US sanctions, right, the value of their native currency goes down. But anyone from around the world, the beauty of it is that we can all send this currency anywhere as long as, you know, we know each other's wallet address, which is just a 24-digit thing. But there's no banks, there's no government saying, like, you cannot send money across borders. So the point is there's less governance, and the whole idea of that there's government and politics involved with this, also it's about money, which was, you know, I was initially motivated about money, but then through that whole motivation, I realized that money is not what we think, right? So looking at it from that standpoint, now I'm really interested in cryptocurrency and how it can maybe grow in the world, and maybe one day instead of trading, you know, dollars at 7-Eleven, you could just scan your phone and send Bitcoin to the guy behind the counter.
I'm really interested to just like see where you end up, because like you already kind of act like Well, not really. You don't act like an
No.
adult, but you do things that adults do. You talked about how for a long time you were really academically focused, and like in many ways you still are. But are you interested in going to a college and getting a degree and then having like a normal job?
So yeah, that's been a lingering question. Of course, I'm a junior. I have to do standardized testing. I still have to hopefully get a 4.0 and make myself happy. And thankfully, my parents have lightened up. They see that I'm trying to really be ambitious in the business side, so they're more lenient in that they accept that if I get into a great school, the opportunity to like drop out or find alternate things from there are open. But I do want to and really want to work really hard in the next 2 years to aim high and get into like some of the schools I really want to get into, and then if from there I meet the right people and I feel like I'm mature enough to go down the entrepreneurial route, at least I will have a big institution's name behind me as I go out, instead of just being crazy and like coming out of high school and be like,
Yeah.
I'm this entitled entrepreneur. I do want to really not let go completely of academics, because I'm still trying my best to do well in school and stuff. It's not the first priority, unfortunately, but within the next 2 years, I will be applying to schools, and hopefully that plan comes into full force.
And final question, I think. If you could give a freshman at LGHS advice if they're unsure of what they want to do with their life, like what would you tell them?
Yeah, sure. That's a great question. And honestly, if someone had given me like a good answer before freshman year, I would have made everything more clear. But first of all, one thing I see that kids are doing wrong nowadays is they don't find something that motivates them or something that they look the next day to do, right? You have a lot of kids that are, just in the high school environment, they're doing their thing, they go to parties, they're having fun. And that's all great, and I like doing some of that too. But I feel that the sooner kids find that thing that they're really passionate about, it's like over from there. And you should still focus on academics, but that's great. Like you're always happy, you have your tribe of people at school, but also like there's this other thing, right? There's something to talk about, there's something to think about, there's something like to finish your homework quick to go do. And like I would say, like as a person starting out, you really need to just go out there and try everything until you find what you really like. And unfortunately, there's a lot of kids that are conservative. They're like, I'm not sure, I don't want to get out of my comfort zone, but like you have one life to live. It's your first year of high school. Like thankfully, I joined a lot of clubs. I'm in none now, but like I said, if it wasn't for FBLA, I wouldn't have been exposed to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And like, I feel like if kids you sign yourself up, you don't know what you're gonna take in, but like if you just put yourself out there, at one point the results will come and you will see something leading to another thing. And as I was starting out, I was like misdirected and I really didn't know what I was doing. But like a lot of like people are like, you got lucky, or like it's really luck focused. And to be honest, it is. There's a lot of luck involved with finding what you really like early on. But like once you get closer to a position where that luck could hit you, like the chances are much higher. So to increase that luck and to find what you really like, you should just sign yourself up for things that you think you might be interested in. You won't really know until you do it. So that's what I would say. Just sign yourself up, put yourself out there, and like seek discomfort, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's great advice.